friends, and welcome back to 4F Beauty. As you can see, I've gone quite bright today, and I'm testing out this foundation, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer in 00A Porcelain. So, if you want to find out when will I be YouTube famous? Oh no, you're not going to find that out. But you will find out how well that foundation copes on my oily combo skin throughout the day. So, stay right there. Here it comes. Hey, welcome back from the intro. Okay, I have washed, moisturised, sun creamed and primed my face. And today I'm going in with this Milani Conceal and Perfect in Porcelain. Just want to show you something from it. When I first bought Milani, the lightest they did was Light Natural, which is slightly too dark for me. You can see the difference between that and the porcelain. Alright. Now, when I bought this from Beauty Bay, they had LA Girl on offer for a tenner. And I'm like, I'll give that a go. And I chose porcelain. Now, when you say porcelain, what do you think? You think bone china. So when you think in terms of makeup, you think very pale with neutral to pink undertones, yeah? Let me just pop this one back up again for comparison. Right? Do you know what LA Girl called porcelain? Seriously? I mean, look, this is as dark as that, but just with a pinky peach undertone. I will still try this out for you, but on a day when I don't actually have to leave the house, because I don't really want to walk out looking like a Oompa Loompa. So, Milani Conceal and Perfect, shade 00A Porcelain. And as always, I'm going to put it on my phone case. Just put 2 pumps out for a minute. And that's the consistency, so you can see it really thick. Which is what you'd expect, really, isn't it? Medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil free formula, long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. We will see. Right. I'm going to go in with my pre-moistened sponge. I suppose I ought to bring you in a little bit, really, shouldn't I? There we go. So how's your day been so far? I hope it's been a good one. Or if you're just starting, I hope it's going to be a good one. We got snow again over the weekend. Thankfully not as much as they were threatening us with. I think the wind changed direction at the last minute. And whereas before we ended up with sort of 7 or 8 inches, we only got 7 or 8 centimetres this time, which was much nicer. Now you can see by putting this on with a sponge, because the sponge A is damp and B, sponges soak things up, it does go on a little bit more sheer. But from having worn the darker one, I know that with my skin at least, it's better to go on with a sponge than a brush. Fluff. Yeah, I just find that on my skin, this actually looks better if I apply it with a sponge. But you know, try it out yourself when you first get it. Do one side with a sponge, one side with a brush, and just decide which side you prefer the look of. I mean, there's some foundations like the Fenty that I have to apply with the brush, because if I put it on with the sponge, it just, I don't know, it just seems to go patchy on me. But you can see that gives certainly sort of light medium, and I've still got that much on there. So I'm just going to build up the coverage. I'm looking a little bit like Adamant, aren't I, from his Prince Charming video. Prince Charming, It's charming, ridiculous, nothing to be scared of. Oh, you know what I'm like, I always end up singing at you at some point. Not too much of the song though, otherwise you get slapped with copyright. Copyright, I mean, like anybody's going to mistake me for Adamant. As you can see, it does build up really nicely over itself. It doesn't go, but not at least to my eyes. What it looks like on the HD camera when I'm editing it, a number of times I've said stuff and then I go to edit it and I'm like, aha, okay. The joys of HD, you can't get away with anything nowadays. But at least I know my skincare regime is doing well at the moment, because a mate of mine, Lydia, watches me on her TV, 55-inch TV, and she was, so you really can't hide then, HD camera on a 55-inch TV, you can see every wrinkle. And she was saying about how good my skin's looking at the moment. So, obviously I've found the right skincare regime for me. If you want me to do a skincare video at some point, drop me a message in the comments below and I'll add it to my list of viewer requests. I love getting requests for videos. I love any kind of interaction from you actually, whether it's a like or new subscriber, hi if you're new, comments or... Right, so there we go. That's that one. I mean, you can actually use this as a concealer, but because I am particularly dark-eyed today, I'm going to chuck a bit of my Colourpop over the top. This is in shade, if I can try and show it to you the right way up instead of upside down, shade Fair 5. I ordered this direct from Colourpop, so long as you order less than, I think at the moment with the exchange rate is $18 or 15 quid, you don't get hammered with import tax when it arrives. I don't mind paying import tax. What I begrudge is the fact that you pay import tax and then a handling fee of either 8 or 13 quid. That annoys me. That's why I like Beautylish, because they, and I think Tarte do as well. Although obviously I'm on a no buy from Tarte until they sort their shade ranges out. That's why I like the ones that sort of work out the tax beforehand for you, so you pay it in advance so that when it arrives it just comes straight out to you, because there's nothing, and then you don't get the handling fee on top. Blood sugar palettes coming to Beautylish in the next week, thank goodness. I can take advantage of the instalment payments, and then you will be seeing quite a bit of that palette, I would have thought. Because normally when I get a new Jeffree palette, I like to use it every day for at least a week. So there we go. Obviously I'm just going to use my face wipe to clean the excess off my brush. You know, I always do this with my brushes. If you've watched any of my other videos you'll know that I always clean any creams or liquids off of my brushes with a face wipe. Partly because it extends the life of your brushes, and partly because it makes you deep clean when you come round to it so much easier. Alrighty, so that is the Milani foundation with the Colourpop concealer. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, looking much more colourful. See you in a mo. Hey, welcome back. As you can see, I went a little bit bright today. Now, I will put, I'll try and get this look up at around about the same time as I put the foundation review up. But I used on my eyes the Colourpop Yes Please palette, and throwing my makeup around now. My lips, liner and lashes are all Jeffree Star Anna Nicole. So it's now 2 o'clock, so it was 1 o'clock when I'd finished putting my foundation on. So 1 o'clock is the check-in time, and I will once again attempt to get 2 check-ins for you throughout the day so we can see just exactly how this wears on my oily combo skin. Now I've got a few hours to go before I can find out how it copes after the first 5 or 6 hours. For you, however, it's going to be pretty instant. See you in a bit. Hey, check-in number 1. It is just after 6, so this has been on for 5 hours so far. So let's zoom in, see how this Milani is doing. I nearly dropped the foundation then. And my hair, I don't quite know what my hair's doing, so let's zoom in and look at the foundation instead. Okay. Come on, autofocus, do your job. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be settling any of the lines yet. Still looking reasonably hydrated there, not looking like alligator skin yet. Just starting to cake a little bit around the base of my nose there. And my allergies are playing up today, so I have been wiping my nose quite a bit, so I'm not entirely surprised that it's wearing off at the end of my nose here. But you can see it's not splitting very much on the sides. So if that was due to my oil production, it'd be breaking down quite a bit here as well. Doesn't appear to be settling in my smile lines. Wearing off my chin a little bit there, but doing it gracefully. Yeah, in the drier parts of my face it's absolutely fine still. Right, I think I've subjected you to a close-up for quite long enough now. So far, it's holding up quite well. As I said, it is wearing off at the end of my nose there, but I have been having to wipe my nose quite a bit today because my allergies are really playing up. Even though we had snow at the weekend and it's only March, it appears that I'm going to have to start taking antihistamines again. I hate taking those blooming things, but some days it's the only way I can keep makeup on because my eyes will be running and my nose will be running. Why am I bothering you with this? Foundation. So far, I'm quite happy with this. The bits that are wearing off are either wearing off because I've been rubbing my nose a lot, or where it's coming off on my chin there, it's doing so very gracefully. I mean, you know, if this wasn't a foundation review, I would just bung a bit more powder on top of that and it'd be absolutely fine. Same as around the sides of my nose, I'd blot and then pop some powder on, it'd be absolutely fine. I mean, you know, certainly from this distance, it's looking great. It's only once you get really up close that you can really spot the bits that are starting to break down a bit. And if you're getting that close, you better hope I know you quite well. Right, okay. I am going to carry on doing editing and exporting of films before going and getting the husband from work and going and picking up some bits and pieces that we forgot when we did our food shopping the other day. So I will check in with you again at the end of the night and we can see just exactly how well this foundation does and whether or not it's approved by me. Alright, see you soon. Well, for me it'll be a few hours, for you it's going to be... Hey, welcome back to the final check-in. Okay, it is just after 11, so this has been on for 10 hours. let's have a zoom in and see how it's doing. Okay, it doesn't seem to be settling in that line there. Yeah, it has now settled into the really deep furrow that I've got between my eyes there. But then, to be honest, most foundations do. Still looking, it's starting to go a little bit dry under here. Beginning to resemble a little bit. That is not eyeshadow, by the way, it's kitchen lights reflecting a bit yellow tonight. See, if I turn around, you can see it's. Pull my eye out. Yeah, it's starting to go a bit dry here. You can see it's really, really breaking down on my nose here, look. Really separating quite badly now. Pretty much completely gone from here. Lid came off with tea because I had a salad dressing and it pretty much took all that off. Yeah, it's pretty much all gone off on my chin now as well. Sides here are still okay. So I think if you've got normal skin, it probably wouldn't be too bad. It's not settled into there at all. Really looking quite dry and horrible under here now, to be honest. Right, let's zoom back out again. I think you've seen quite enough of that for the minute. Right, so what do I think of the Milani? It's alright for the first sort of 5 or 6 hours, I suppose. But then it really couldn't cope with the oils coming through. Long wearing, water resistant and sweat proof. I'm sorry, if you say you're long wearing, I expect you to be able to go 10 hours without looking like this. Admittedly, it's done well at, not splitting on my forehead, but again, the Bermuda Triangle of my face, which produces the most oil, the foundation's really broken down, it's rubbed off, it's gone patchy, it's not very pretty at all, to be quite honest. If you've got normal to dry skin, if you use a really good moisturising primer underneath, you should be okay. Because obviously the dry bits of my cheek here still are fine, but the under eyes here are really starting to go alligatory, so you are going to need a good moisturising primer underneath, hydrating primer, if you're going to be using that. And if you've got normal skin, then I reckon it really would be long wearing for you. If you've got combo skin like me or oily skin, then it'd be okay for a night out, it'd be okay for lunch out with the girls. Would it be okay all day at work? I wouldn't, to be honest. I don't even think blotting and repowdering at lunchtime would have saved this. It really is. It's quite disappointing. I had such high hopes for that. You see all the other beauty gurus raving about it. Not that I'm a beauty guru yet, far from it. But yeah, if you're only going to be wearing it for 5 or 6 hours, then yeah, it's great. Any longer than that? This was, I think, about 13 quid. Let me have a quick, bear with, won't be a minute. Going to, come on phone, behave, thank you. Right, where's the order that I made? There. Yeah, this was 13 quid from Beauty Bay. And to be perfectly honest, that Avon foundation, which is £6 at the moment, outlasted this one. So of the two, which would I recommend? Avon. Sorry Milani, you're not quite good enough yet for oily combo skin. So on that rather sadly quite disappointing note, I hope you've had a fantastic day, or if you're watching this at the beginning of your day, I hope it's fares better than mine has. All that's left for me to say now is I hope you liked this. If you do, perhaps click the like button, subscribe, click the bell, join my notification squad so you can see if I ever find my holy grail foundation, which lasts perfectly forever and doesn't cost king's ransom. Alright, have an absolutely fab rest of your day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, and whatever time of day you're watching me. See you again soon. Bye.